name is Johnie Lee, and we are here with the Phantom of Salvador Dali, and we are presenting the last painting of the Rebirth Collection, which is called The Last Surrealist and the Dragon of Money. When I came to Cadaques, I had a dream. I had a dream that I was going to give a rebirth to Surrealism, that with my talents and with my devotion, that I would ignite a spark that would bring the people back to the mentality that this village had many, many years ago when the Surrealists were living here. And after all my efforts, after everything I did turned into failure, and everyone that I trusted deceived me, and I got tired of banging my head against the wall, trying to fight for something that nobody cared about, right? And the anger was instilling inside of me in a way that it was making me negative. So I took all of that and I made a painting about it. I expressed in a painting the way I felt about the spirit of Cadaques. Here you have the Bay of Cadaques. You have, this is where the lighthouse would be. That is the head of the dragon. This is the back of the dragon. And this is its tail, which goes to fly across. Here you have the cuckoo. And this would be where the Boya and the Maritime and all those places are, the cafes along the beaches for the tourists. Always full, but very little money. The money is small money. Here, and that signifies that the dragon of money has conquered Cadaques. That surrealism doesn't matter anymore. You have the sun. It always shines so brightly on the seas and makes them sparkle like as if there was diamonds in there. And here you have an island. On the island you have the reflections of all the surrealists who have lived and died here. I'm going to see if I can get a closer view. Here you go. Here you have an iceberg that is floating in the bay, and the iceberg is melting. You have a portrait of Salvador Dali, you have one of Garcia Lorca, you have one of Antonio Pinchon, you've got Luis Buñuel, you've got Gala, and you've got David Martí. David Martí was not known worldwide, but he was a great painter that lived in Cadaques. He committed suicide around 40 years old. I've read his poetry, I've seen his art. He was an amazing man. It's too bad he had to die. Rest in peace, David. Here you have an easel, and under the easel you have the eye of Salvador Dali. It's all under ice. I put them all under ice. Here you have my dear friend Patrick. He is one of the biggest galleries here in Cadaques, and he was instrumental in incorporating me into the artistic scene when I first came here. And here you have him fishing in the waters. He's in color because he's still alive. And the surrealists are waiting for someone to come and paint on this canvas. Here you have a face that appeared in the clouds. I didn't want faces in the clouds here, but as usual, the third time I took it away and it reappeared, I decided to leave it there. Later on, I found out that this was Miguel Duncan, who wanted to be in the painting, Patrick Duncan's brother. And it's fitting that he should be there, because he was great friends with Martí, he was great friends with Gala, he was great friends with Antonio, and he was great friends with Salvador Dali. Yeah, he even served as a model for Salvador Dali in one of the paintings where you have a cross standing up and there's a man on the cross. Well, that's my dear friend Michael. So, the surrealists are waiting for someone to come and paint the empty canvas. Here we have a cloud that looks like a baby dragon. Here's its eye, here's its mouth. And there's lightning beams coming out. Just in a part where there's a boat. The boat is a boat that belonged to We Love Cadaques, an animation and event company that did amazing things. They did full moon parties in extremely isolated places with big speaker stacks, and we had a really good time. Kike, the driver of the boat, was the founder of We Love Cadaques. So that's why it says We Love Cadaques here, because this was his boat. I mean, we used to go around here to a little island over there, Giola, and we used to have picnics in this little boat. And here is the Last Surrealist. The Last Surrealist, that's me. And he's trying to bring me to the iceberg so that I can continue the work of the Surrealist. But this storm, this oppression, will not let it happen. And that is because Cadaques, in all her glory and all her beauty, has sold out really cheap to the dragon of money. I did this painting because I was angry, and the goal of the painting was to try and trap the souls of the Surrealists inside the iceberg, under the ice, so that I could take them to Montreal and that I could give a rebirth to Surrealism in Montreal. Yeah, so I thought that with this painting I could bring all the Surrealists, Patrick, his brother, the magic of We Love Cadaques, and the beauty of the island, of the place, with me. Oh, getting some wind in your sails. Doesn't it feel good? I did this painting for you. Yes, I did this painting for you and the plight of the Surrealists. I hope you like it. This concludes the presentation of the Rebirth Collection. We will continue with our nightly chats, but for now that is the end of the collection. There's one more piece that I'm working on. It's called The Third Eye, but I'm reluctant to start it because I don't know when I will be moving back home. It's already started. I'm reluctant to apply paint because oil takes a long time to dry, and if I have to roll it up, it might get damaged. But I may do it anyway. I think that we might have another 28 days of lockdown, so we're just going to have to stick with this. So, from Lockdown in Cadaques, this concludes the presentation of the Rebirth Collection with Johnie Lee and Cadaques. I hope you enjoyed it. As I paint the dragon, I find one deep inside my own self. At times I am not aware of the intensity of my being as a Surrealist, and some people are not ready. I must learn to be more aware of this and soften my approach. I can feel magic brewing inside of a nature that surpasses the realm of the common person. It is my job to harness this power and present it in a suitable form. The problem is that with my lack of spiritual guidance, I find myself navigating on the dark and rocky seas. A healthy body and an inner calm are the things I must nurture. I must maintain inner equilibrium, and to do so I must accept that mine is a solo journey. There will be no knight in shining armor to come and love me and help me and fulfill the destiny. I must stay away from lust and self-indulgence of the pleasures of copulation. The dragons of purgatory must be deemed illumination and give strength to the younger children. As much as this does not please me, I now accept and I understand. For inasmuch as I appear to be standing alone, the fewer I have around me, the less alone I become. By making this necessary sacrifice, in time, divinity will be mine. Faith is of the essence as I turn my back on mortal companionship. To surrender completely in blind faith to the path of the Surrealists, I shall discover an intense new presence putting magic in my footsteps. I know this, and yet I seem to forget it at times. As I work on the Last Surrealist and the Dragon of Money, I find myself on a sad and lonely path. It is animated with joy and fantasy, and as sure as the crow shall fly, leads me to deception. I paint and I wait. My friend Michael, Patrick's brother, recently died. He believed in me and stood by me. This made me sad. He came to me afterwards, and so we found a light when I put him into the painting, or when I let him stay in the painting. His soul will live on in the painting. In the clouds there is a face. When I painted it, I did not know who it was, but since it wanted to be there, I left it there. Then we looked at it and discovered that it is Michael. And it is so fitting, because he was friends with all these people. Somehow, that thought made his death a little easier. As I proceed with the dragon, things get ugly around me. People turn against me, and I do not have very many friends. People need to love each other more and share the beauty inside. We have to remember the beauty of Cadaques and of the Surrealists that lived, painted, and died here. From Johnie Lee and the Phantom. Good night.